so much of who we are today is determined by what happens before the age of 7.
Yeah.
So what would your advice to parents be to raise really confident and self-assured children?
Couple of things. First of all, be present with your kids. That's all they want. They don't care about having the latest Lego, especially under 7. They care about one thing. Are you with them? Are you present? Are you playing Lego with them, making cookies in the kitchen? Are you on your phone? So the only thing your children want is for you to be present with them, not all the time, but when you come in from work or they come and be present, sit down and play with them, listen to them, engage with them, make eye contact so they feel worthy.
Okay.
Second thing is praise your kids a lot. Say, but specific things. You're so good with a dog. You're so nice with your grandpa. You're so sweet with your sister. You're very, very good at maths. Praise them a lot. And thirdly, apologize a lot. Children, in order to make sense of anything, take ownership of it. My mum is crying, it must be my fault. My dad is shouting, must be my fault.
Okay.
That neighbor keeps touching me, must be my fault.
Okay.
When you apologize, they don't take you, say, darling, he wasn't very present today and that wasn't right. Daddy was really lost it today. I'm so sorry, you deserve better. When you apologize, you stop them taking ownership. In order to make sense of anything, children will always own it. It's my fault I get bullied. It's my fault my dad's angry. It's my fault my mum's upset. It's my fault.
And they internalize that.
They internalize it.
Okay.
Because imagine being a child and working out your dad's a crazy alcoholic. That's terrifying.
Exactly.
Because you depend on him.
Yes.
So you work out and say, it's my fault.
Yes.
But then you never undo it. So every time you apologize to your kids, I'm so sorry today. I wasn't present. I had my period. I was a bit cranky. I was a bit busy. It wasn't fair.
Right.
You stop them taking ownership. And that's a powerful, one of the best things you can ever do is to say, I'm so sorry. I shouted. I was a bit, and they understand because they also get cranky. So they totally get it.
Okay.
They go, it's okay, mummy. So be present. Praise them a lot for specific things.
And apologize.
Apologize a lot and tell them they're enough.
Okay.
And never try to make them good at everything. Say, darling, you're good at English. You don't have to be good at science. Darling, you're good at maths. You don't need to be good at art. See, your gift in life is to find your gift, work on your gift, and make a living from your gift. When you try to make your kids good at everything, or you say, but your sister could read, your brother was so tidy, you're comparing them.
Right.
You're not supposed to give birth to yourself. You're supposed to give birth to your teacher, who is nothing like you. So don't compare them. And don't try to make them good at everything. Make them blossom at their own gift. Because
Right.
you can only be happy doing what you love.
Right.
It's very hard to be successful doing what you hate.
So there's also this one, what would I say? A lot of people talk about this. If you have issues in your relationship, have a
Yes.
child, the child will resolve the issues in the relationship.
But of course they can't.
Exactly. So my point is, I would like to know from you also, what damage would it do to a child if it is born in a family where the couple is always fighting, the dynamics is not that great? How do you think that is going to impact the child's outlook?
Well, the child's going to think it's their fault.
Right.
So if people think, we'll have a baby to make this relationship, we'll have a baby so we stay together, we'll have a baby so we'll love each other more. But the babies need to be born into a very secure place. But often they're not. We're not.
Right. But it's so easy for people to fall into that victimhood rather than
course.
taking up the
Yeah.
ownership and saying, I'm going to change my life.
Sure.
Why is that so?
Well, it's easier to blame than to change. It's, a victim says it's your fault, you did that, so I don't have to do anything. I might say, well, it's my fault. If you ram your shopping cart into my leg the first time, it's your fault. If I stand there, I should do it again, it's my fault because I didn't get out of the way. So it becomes my fault. If you are mean to me the first time, it's your fault. If you do it again and I stay in the relationship, it's my fault for not leaving, or a friendship. So, but it's easy to blame. The opposite is, well, I've got to do some work. I've got to have the competency. Don't like to be spoken to like that. I'm not staying in this relationship. I'm not staying in this job. I'm not staying in this family. It requires some work. And again, we have a fear of change in case we're worse off. So we have to control the direction of change in our life and always make it change for the better. I was doing a live training in London. And this girl came, my husband said, this girl's just come up at lunchtime as a residential course and told me that her brother abused her and they all still live at home. So she came on stage at a session. She was saying, I told my mother and she doesn't believe me. And they've just said, well, it's our son. And the first thing was, don't tell the neighbours.
Okay.
And then we're all still living in the same house. And they know, but they're just in denial because they love him more than me. And I've sort of said to darling, you can't stay in that house. You need to either go and get a job in a pub or a hotel where you can live. You've got to get away from there because, what he's done is terrible, unforgivable. You staying in the house is making it okay for him because you're still there. And your friends, you can pretend, well, she's still here. And the next day she came and she said, I called my friend. I've moved out. And I loved that. So I needed someone to tell me that because it seemed such a hard thing. I've got to move. I live at home, don't pay any rent. And it seemed quite a big thing. But actually, when she made a call, it was an easy thing because I'm not living with this abusive person and these people are colluding in the abuse.
Right.
I'm now living with my friend and her family, and they're very supportive. I'm going to get a job in a hotel and live in, and I'm never going back. So it seems scary. But the only risk in life is not to take the risk. Not taking the risk is the biggest risk of all.
That's true.
Not taking the risk to change, to say to them, hey, could you love me? Can I have a promotion? Can I have a pay rise? That all involves risk, but the biggest risk is to do nothing.
Exactly.
That's the greatest risk you'll ever take, not taking the risk.
Exactly.